Marxist and Feminist Critical Look into the Marvel Cinematic Universe by Jocelyn Foreman and Ify Chidi.
Marvel Comics, now owned by Walt Disney Incorporated, have been a household name for superhero fanatics and casual fans alike since they were founded in 1939. Now, with the help of founder Stan Lee and others, they have become one of, if not the most popular superhero graphic novel and movie companies of all time.
Among their characters, they have very famous superheroes such as Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and popular superhero teams such as the Avengers, X-Men, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and more.
However, among its popularity, the Marvel Comics, when viewed with a Marxist and feminist critical lens, clearly and obviously exemplify gender inequality, social class imbalance, and lack of POC characters in numerous of instances.
Marxist criticism asserts that economics provides the foundation for all social, political, and ideological reality, basically highlighting the notion that social class imbalance is significant when viewing text. Feminist criticism focuses on relationships between genders and examines a text based on patterns of thought, behavior values, and power and relations within and between the sexes.
Within reading the Marvel comics or watching the movies, the idea of social class imbalance is reiterated throughout the series. Though, through our research, we found all of our examples in the graphic novels, we decided to show them through video media for better visualization. To start, our first example of power imbalance can be seen best through Tony Stark. Stark is a CEO, billionaire, and most known for the creation and being of Iron Man. While this may seem like a very philanthropic action to give back to the world, this decision was actually very egotistical. He originally was an average man who created this suit of armor to save himself from a cave, but now he thinks he's the best person to save the entire world. He refuses to give this power to the government or anybody else.
Want my property? You can't have it.
And believes he's the only capable person, when that's really not the case. His actions, along with the other Avengers, destroy cities, and they don't make any move to restore them. But instead of helping the working class, he gloats that
I have successfully privatized world peace.
most of the enemies of peace in the MCU come from the Avengers themselves. When viewing this in a Marxist critical lens, it is clear that the upper class, the superheroes, get to do whatever they want, at the expense of the lower class, normal people.
All Avengers but 3 are white, and they don't even play significant roles until Sam takes over the role as Captain America, insinuating he couldn't have gotten that role himself. Aside from Wakanda, all of the Marvel movies take place in predominantly white countries, and other than Sam, Rhodes, and the people of Wakanda, there are no other significant people of color in any Marvel films or comics. Having most of the heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe be white shows that society still views white people as superior. Sam taking up the mantle as Captain America also shows that society is not ready to get rid of the most dominant white character in Marvel history and accept a new leader, especially if they are someone of color. In one of Marvel's most recent Disney Plus series, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we are introduced to a character named Isaiah Bradley. Through this character, we learn that the super soldier serum given to Steve Rogers was trying to be replicated, and Black people were used as test subjects. The government, when these tests went wrong, would destroy the evidence, as they called it. Bradley tells Sam and Bucky,
"Those are my men, my brothers, not evidence."
People of color are usually in a lower social class just because of how our society functions. When viewing these films and comics through the Marxist lens, we can see that social class and race are a contributing factor in the decision to cast and create mostly white characters, because so many people in society are still biased against people of color and against the idea of a colored person being the main hero in a group like the Avengers.
Moving on to feminist criticism. There are only 2 female Avengers in the whole series, the Black Widow and the Scarlet Witch, until the last movie in the franchise, Avengers Endgame, which comes out at the height of the Me Too movement. There, they're given a pandering #girlboss scene. As stated by movie critic Katie Erbland, it doesn't add anything to the film as a whole, nor does it expand on the characters themselves. And the roles in earlier Marvel movies prove they have more to offer, even as the franchise has lagged when it comes to creating films explicitly about its many female characters. When viewing this with a feminist critical lens, it is clear that the female characters are not deemed as worthy as male, and are only included to make a statement.
In Iron Man 2, when we first meet Natasha Romanoff, Tony Stark says to Pepper,
I want one.
clearly signifying that he sees Natasha as an object and not a person, especially not a person capable of fighting or doing anything other than look good. This further reinforces the stereotype that women have no role in society other than looking good and pleasing men. When viewing this scene through the feminist lens, we can see that Tony Stark views himself as above all others, especially females, because he does not give women the respect they deserve.
One may say that since this is a superhero comic book franchise, these stories are fiction and not supposed to be anything close to real. Well, in the words of Lucian Bain, fiction mirrors reality. Authors routinely create fiction to aid in the understanding of the world, to comment on issues, and attempt to bring proper representation to media. The New York Times put it best in their article when they said, quote, "Fiction is often more real than fact."
In conclusion, the Marvel comic book series by Stan Lee, while full of entertainment when viewed with a Marxist and feminist critical lens, simultaneously shows power imbalance through class, race, and gender.
So, the next time you cozy up with your newest edition of The Amazing Spider-Man, or head to theaters to watch Thor: Love and Thunder, keep an eye out for the many Marxist and misogynist undertones hidden throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe.